to one of our houses today that we're spooking up, ready to put on the market. Wow, big day today.
You've got a big day, haven't you?
A massive day. I've got my running shoes on, ready to go.
Ready to fit. We're in a really great family home in Nichols Point.
So beautiful.
Big house, big sheds, big land. So if anyone's looking for that premium property, this beautiful kitchen behind us.
Beautiful position.
So yeah, keep an eye out for this one. Shonah's got some work to do, but it's
photos tonight. Video.
And vid, yep. So
beautiful.
Launching Thursday.
All right, excellent. So we're talking today about, is it okay to sell very quickly? It's on the back of last week. Really, we spoke about, presenting your property properly. Jeez, that was a tongue twister.
Yeah, how are your words going today?
I don't know, not real well. Jeez, we can't start again.
Yeah.
So presenting your property properly,
yep.
to put it on the market. So, and I want to discuss, okay, so if you had 4 weeks, you had 4 weeks to put your property on, doing it properly, then, what we can do, the steps by steps, week by week.
Yeah.
Before we get into that though,
yes,
you have got some examples of quick sales and that you want to speak about.
Yeah, but even before we get into that, we've got a competition.
Oh, we're going to talk about that now.
Yeah, why not?
We're not going to keep everyone in suspense.
No, let's do it now because then people will see it now. Then they can comment. So we've got a competition. It's a giveaway. So we're announcing it now. People can tag their friends,
yeah.
And because we're doing it on the live, we'll also post it on our Facebook pages. But because we're doing it on our live. Anyone that tags their friend or friends in them, the friends also get an entry into the competition as well. So
that's cool.
What do they win, you say?
Oh,
doesn't look like much, but that's an Easter egg. Donated by us.
Yes.
But you also get, donated by Mallee Foods, a fresh Western Australian lobster cray.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And a kilo of South Australian prawns.
Oh, man.
Just in time for Easter.
Oh, that's so cool. That's a great
If
prize.
you're in Mildura and you want some fresh seafood ready for Good Friday and a big fat Easter egg, tag your friends. We'll make an announcement later as well. So this competition will run. We'll announce it probably Thursday morning, I reckon.
Beautiful. And they have to be on this live, yes, or can they?
No, it'll be both. But yeah, I think if you yeah, that's right. Tag your friends, whoever you want to share some seafood and a massive Easter egg with.
That's exciting.
Get around it.
Yes, get onto it. Awesome. That's cool.
Right.
So
examples.
Let's get into it.
So I think the concept of this live is what's appropriate for getting your house on the market. If there's people that are under the pressure and need to move pretty quick, do we slow them down and make sure we get it right, or is there the ability to sell it quick, or do you go the long road, or we take the slow approach? So I think the thing about real estate, we deal with so many different scenarios.
Yeah.
Sometimes time's not on people's side, for various reasons, and it's I give you one example. We had a situation where and this is pretty unreal. What happened? I went and did an appraisal. My first conversation in the house was that Lily was moving into a nursing home out at Jacaranda and Redcliffs. And the thing about that, a lot of people don't understand, is that it's quite expensive to do that. So often a lot of the people that are doing that have to actually use their money from the house.
Yeah.
If they don't have savings or et cetera. So and often these vacancies don't come up that often. So walked in 10 o'clock, family were there, and the first thing they say is, we don't have time. We need to move really quickly. Yeah. We need to sell fast. Yeah. We need to secure this place for mum out at Redcliffs. Have you got buyers? And my answer to that was yes. If you want someone, I don't think that's the best way to go, but if you don't have time, then we can move fast. So, long story short, I rang the buyer literally 5 minutes after I was there. I could tell straight away they didn't have time. There wasn't really much to do with the house, but they didn't have time. Wasn't on their side. So He was there within 20 minutes. He walked in, I introduced him to the family, I took him around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he walked out the back, we negotiated a price out the back. I walked inside with him, we spoke about price. We did it all open in front of everybody, and they all shook hands. And Lily she cried because she'd been there for many, many years. It was a very emotional scenario. So I got there at 10. I walked out at 10:40. We'd negotiated the sale. We'd found the buyer, and then within 3 weeks we'd settled on the property. Whoa. So there is those examples that can be done. Now that's an extreme example.
Yeah, that's right.
But in saying that though, it's possible. I see a lot of people, a lot of buyers. Over the weekend we probably saw 100, 150 buyers, including just last night. We've got more opens tonight. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
It's when you're continually seeing different people, what people want. So it can be done. Or the other option is, if people do have that time, we put that process in place, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have got the time, let's, get it right from the get-go. And I think even if you've got 4 weeks, and we want to discuss 4 weeks today, because generally, anything longer than that, people lose a little bit of energy, momentum, stop, and life gets in the way, and they might stop, and then 3 months has gone by. So I think it's 4 weeks. Do you think is a really good time?
I think it's just giving someone a deadline.
Yeah.
And I usually do that. If you don't actually have a plan in place, then we live busy lives, and you've got Easter coming up, and you've got Johnny's football in South Australia, and you've got motorbikes, or you've got a family trip booked, or there's she's going away with a girl. This is a conversation I have with so many people. Okay, let's work on this timeline. They're like, but we're going away that weekend. Yeah. So you've got a plan, and sometimes if you do not say, all right, because the first thing is being ready for photos. And if you don't give them a date to work towards, and a lot of people need it anyway. Yep. Then sometimes it just carries on. It carries on. So it's about making sure that there's a plan in place, and we work towards that plan. Yeah. It can be pushed back, but
exactly. It can, and when things get in the way, then
someone's tagged someone.
Is it what
me?
Oh, you guys. So
just tag yourself.
if you're jumping on now and you've missed the start, we have an Easter thing going on.
Just tag your friends.
Tag your friends, and then you all go in a draw to win some seafood and a really cool Easter egg. Yeah. So jump in, and we'll explain it at the end of this live as well. Yeah. So if you do have 4 weeks, for me, I think to start with, when it's thinking about presentation, you've got two things, like you actually have two kind of, jobs to do. One part is with you and what you have to do with your paperwork, your strategy, all of that. And then the other part is presenting, and that can be the overwhelming part as well in where to start with presenting. So say you've got 4 weeks out ready for photos, and I think that's the best deadline, isn't it?
Always.
2 photos, because after photos it's pretty much 2 days later it's on the market.
Usually,
Usually?
Yeah, Mondays and Tuesdays are generally when we do our photos. So I like to work with a really good structure for the week leading up to going out to the market. So typically we're photos Monday or Tuesday, and we're on the market by Wednesday or Thursday. And that period of getting the photos, it all happens pretty quick.
Yeah, it does.
There's a fair bit of work that goes to it. So that's generally how it works.
Okay, cool. So 4 weeks out, what would you do? So to begin with, it would be really decluttering, depersonalizing, decluttering, get rid of the stuff or put away the stuff that is that doesn't really need to be in the home necessarily, and working out a plan on how you're going to place your furniture if you've got it, if you've got an empty home, whether you need to get a stylist into stage, and think and work out that budget of how much that's going to cost, whether you're going to put things in storage or whether you're going to, rent out a part of a shed of a mate's place, and just get
or just put it in the mate's shed.
Or just put it in the mate's shed, you could do that. But really,
Chico.
we get rid of the stuff. Oh, Frank's a legend.
He is a legend.
Get rid of the stuff that's doesn't need to be in the home, because really the people that come into a home need to feel the space and to feel like it isn't cluttered and closed in. Can you?
Jade's asked if do you box it? I can't see very well. I'm wear glasses. Do you box it up and put it in storage?
Yes, Jade, absolutely. Yeah. That's a really cool. It's the best way because you know where everything is, and when it's time when you've sold and you've settled and your time to move, it's already done. Less is
more, right? So if you've got kids. Often you accumulate stuff so quickly. Like we're always grabbing stuff and going, okay, we don't need that anymore. You know, it's that less is more approach.
Absolutely.
You know, putting it away.
Yeah, toys.
Finding a spot because it makes the house feel bigger.
Absolutely. Suitcases that are, you know, full of stuff.
That decluttering is the best. I reckon it's a really good start because sometimes it's that overwhelming. Well, where do I start? What do I do? You know, can I get rid of some stuff? Do I need 3 settings around a lounge room? Do I need photo frames everywhere?
Yes.
Not necessarily. So sometimes that's a really good place to begin. Because then you can go, all right, now we've got something to work with, cleaning, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And you know, even woolens. If it's summer, you're selling in summer, and all your woolens and your blankets are packed away. They're the stuff that goes because it's nice to have open shelves as well on top of wardrobes. If it's cluttered to the ceiling,
with suitcases,
it can feel really closed in. So anything that you can put away, put it in boxes. You know, sticky tape them up, texture them up. You're going to do that when you move anyway. So you might as well get a head start, you know. And then it's just basically working out, making a list of what needs to be had. Do we need to repaint? Do we need to touch up paint?
But often that's the bit that people aren't sure of, you know, and I find that I get a lot of calls like, I'm not ready to sell yet, but I just want to know where to start. And that's cool because that's a really important beginning to when you're going to sell is, you know, there are those things, we've discussed it many times, there are those things you probably don't need to do and there's things that you probably really should focus your attention on.
Absolutely.
And if you don't do those things right, there are objections to buyers. So, you know, it's maybe just starting with a list, isn't it?
It is.
Starting with a list, working towards, you know, doing your declutter and then off you go.
Yep. So in that week while you're decluttering, you need to speak to your agent and Mark, what would you suggest that they need to prepare your side of the things?
I think the main thing is you're working towards this. The first conversations usually are price, aren't they? You know, and once we've got a price or a rough indication of where it probably sits in the market, coming up with a really good strategy, and then you work towards getting to the market. Getting it photo ready is what it is. Is getting it to the point where, and this is if you've got your like a bit of a plan going forward. There is no rush, is there? Like you don't have to rush it to the market, and you know, because the ones that generally do that are the ones that probably you see it in open inspections where the buyers are like, oh, why isn't that finished? You know, there's just the buyers expect the best. They want to be able to walk straight in. So, you know, you're going hard. Like the one on Benettook Avenue that we did.
Yes.
It was literally like they were running to the end.
Oh wow.
It was block style. When I got there for the photos, I felt like Scotty Kemp. And they literally were running around, moving stuff, grabbing stuff, throwing things over the fence to click. They were. And it's pretty cool to see because they were doing absolutely everything.
So
we've had 30 groups at the house. The photos came up beautiful, the video came up beautiful, and then the buyers have come in and they haven't questioned anything. It's done. It looks good. So that's resulted in strong offers already, and we'll close that sale tomorrow. Woo. So that's how it can be.
Yeah,
that's
exactly right.
Those little things, those little efforts you're putting in, and you're doing in the lead up to the photos. Is getting it right, but it's just asking your trusted person what that is, what that entails.
That's right, exactly, because you could be running around doing things that you don't need to do.
True.
You know. So 3 weeks out, this is where your plan of action.
By the way, your sprinklers are on all the time.
Oh yes.
Yeah, always. Get your grass green. Just turn your sprinklers on. It costs very minimal. Really green up your gardens and give them life. And if you've got a 4-week plan. You just put your sprinklers on now. Because you want everything to feel lush and green, and you want it to look good, and that presents beautifully in photos too. So that's a very important part.
That's right. It just feels nice. Actually, that's a good point because when we were out there moving at Benettook, you know, we had our smoko under one of the trees and...
felt good?
Yeah, my partner Simon, he just said, it just feels nice out here. You know, because it was green, it was lush, it was beautiful.
Well, see, when I went there probably before Christmas, roughly around Christmas time. It was very dry. So my thing to them was, we want it looking lush. We want it looking, and they weren't living there at the time, so they weren't out there all the time. They weren't turning the sprinklers on. So, you know, giving it some life and showing people how great it can be for not only themselves, but for their kids to hang out and play sport. It's pretty important.
And as the front had some structure, like with the driveway, they did a bit of work with that as well. So that made a massive difference. Okay, so week 3. So your plan of action goes into play here. So it is, you know, working out, you know, what needs to be finished outside, what needs to be taken away to the tip, what needs to, you know, touch up paint, what do we need to fix? Do we need to fix hinges in the kitchen? Those little odd jobs, the handyman jobs, they really get them on track on week 3. What about for you? What happens in week 3?
There's not, I think that it's just keeping the getting open, to be honest. Like for me, sometimes I, you know, from that point of discussing price and then getting that, I'll drop in every now and then, I'll keep talking to them. If they've got questions, my thing is I want that open communication. I would prefer them to ring me and ask questions, not think, oh, you know, he's busy, I won't bother him. There's no silly questions, because it is a big deal. It's a massive deal when you're taking your house to the market. It's a big, you know, it can be a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 decision. So, you know, getting it right is important. So I like that constant communication right up to that point of photos. And then it goes to the next level after that. So, excellent. And then we get to the nitty-gritties, and it does feel like a bit of a marathon with, you know, 2 weeks to go. And doesn't time fly? Like with 2 weeks to go. For me it does, because I'm not there.
That's it.
For them it's also...
It does. It's just like you feel like you're running against the clock a lot. But that's when, you know, get help. I mean, ask for support, family, friends. But if you need, you know, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with something, as we said, you know, just call us up and work out. We'll help you get back on track, get a little bit of clarity. But it really is, it's like just cleaning windows. If you need to plant some new plants out the front, even just some pots out the front, that can make a massive difference.
You take your pots with you.
Absolutely. You know, if you've got old, you know, maybe some doona covers and cushions that are a little bit older, you can certainly, you know, give them a little bit of a makeover with some, you know, just some neutral doona covers that don't have to cost the earth. And, you know, just freshen it up, fresh up the bedrooms, freshen up, you know, and all your furniture basically. You just, it's crucial to get it right. And you've got to start from the start and work through it, and it takes time. You know, particularly if people have been living in the house for a long time. Kids' fingerprints, you know, damaged walls, things like that. You just want to get it right and make sure that if there is, you expecting buyers to walk in and fall in love with your property at that very first open. You know, you picture a lot of people walking around. You don't want them highlighting objections. That's right. Exactly. You want them just walking in and saying good things. You want them talking about the fact that they're wanting to make an offer. They're asking for Section 32s to take the next step, to go to contract potentially. So the open inspection, that very first one is crucial. You know, it's very important. 30 minutes, because that's all it is, you know, and it all happens pretty quick. So the lead up for vendors, getting it to the point, the marketing, you know, where you put it out to your market, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people think, oh, well, I don't look at Facebook, so I wouldn't go on there, or I don't read the paper, so I wouldn't. There's a lot of buyers that look at all these different dynamics. There is. You know, making sure that, you know, that you're going to that first 30 minutes and hopefully you're walking away with an offer or at least some interest. And that comes down to all that work you put in. And in a market like we're in right now, where it's very buoyant, there's lots of activity. There's, you know, there's still plenty of buyers around in all types of real estate. That's, you've got a good chance to take an extra 10 or 15 or 20 out of the market that you might not thought you were going to get, and what we think we're going to get. So that's right. That's the crucial thing. That's absolutely. So it really is, you know, about presentation, first impressions, doing as much as you can to make it the best, you know, to get the best possible outcome. All right, there's been some new people jump on. We need to... Are you tagging your friends? Are you tagging your friends? No one's tagging their friends. Tag your friends. We've got seafood. We've got an Easter egg. So Mally Foods, Darren from Mally Food has been, he's good.
been kind enough to donate a lobster or crab.
Yay!
That's getting sent over. That will be arriving in Mildura tomorrow. Also,
Prawns.
a kilo of prawns,
Ooh.
all in readiness for Good Friday, and a big beautiful chocolate Easter egg. So just some goodies there. So we'll put it on our pages after this as well. But you get double the points if you tag someone during the live.
In this replay as well.
In the replay.
Yep. Cool.
Double, triple points.
Triple points. Oh, that's cool. Excellent. What would you do if you won it?
I'd eat it.
Where would you be at Easter?
I'll be at home.
Are you?
Yeah. Yep. Normally we'd be spending time watching the boats, wouldn't we? But it's not on this year, so.
That's true.
But I love Easter. Easter's my favourite time in Mildura.
Me too.
It's a buzz.
Me too.
And we're going to have ripping weather this week, so
yes.
I think we're laughing.
Excellent.
Keep an eye out for this property though.
Yes.
I'm not telling you where it is, but I'm telling you it's in Nichols
I
Point.
can't help myself. I'm trying to stop myself from telling you where it is. It's a prime spot.
Good spot for a family.
Wow.
If someone is interested in a big family home, it's only about 12 months old. It's got a whopping big shed, and it's on an acre. If they want to know more about it, they can hit me up, and I can give them some.
The finishes are beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the floor.
Beautiful
right now.
neutral tones.
This kitchen.
Matte white kitchen, stone benches.
Yeah.
Good cubby house out there.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to know if they're looking for a high-end property, then shoot me a message.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, if anyone's got any questions about today, anything you need to know at all, like we've said in the previous weeks, no questions too silly, and also we're happy to give advice where we can. It's industry standard stuff that we, a duty of care that we give and give and give value. So hit us up if you need any help along the way.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's our Tuesday. He's been quiet today. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. I shouldn't have had another coffee.
All right.
Tag your friends, prawns, lobster, and Easter eggs. Have a good Easter.
Have a good Easter, and we'll be announcing on Thursday, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, announcing on Thursday, so watch out for that, and so you might be the winner, and you might be taking home all that cool stuff.
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
Right.
And thanks to Darren again from Mallee Foods.
Yes, thanks, Darren.
Absolute legend.
You're a legend. All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week when we do our live Regional Property Unplugged.
We'll be here on Tuesday.
We'll be here on Tuesday. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
See ya.
Have an amazing day.